we're gonna go ahead and get started. So if I could have your attention. First, if everybody would rise, we'll go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
United States, and to the republic,
under God,
one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice.
And it looks like Jimmy's up in Phoenix today for bank work, so that's why I'm standing in. I think Audrey, you get the vacation.
You understood by me as to what
I'm just following the list and following what I'm supposed to do.
and very little eye contact, if any, really, until the last minute.
Okay, please will you bow your heads with me? Let us pray silently, each one of us, according to our individual beliefs. Let us offer thanks for our food and the blessings of fellowship around us. Let us be a source of hope for those in need and contentment for those who are lonely. Let us give gratitude for our opportunity to serve Rotary. Let the feelings of love, kindness, and a well-directed yet gentle spirit always be reflected in our actions.
Thank you. Let's see. Do we have any visiting Rotarians? We've got our speakers here in a little bit that I believe Matt will introduce, but I do see some friendly faces we haven't seen for a while. Hey, Pete. Hey. And then I was going to say, good to see Norm. I saw Becky walking this morning and I congratulated her. She was really happy. Yeah, she says she has all kinds of free time now. His wife's retired last week or so. Rich, looks like Rich is on the phone, but he's also in Tucson from his, looks like the back patio. Let's see. I think that's it. Oh, hi, Carol. Hope the weather's nice back your way. And Mr. Hamster made it. Good.
Yeah, the weather's very nice.
We got quite a few
It's
people
nice fall
here.
weather. And
With that,
the leaves look really good.
I don't know that we have anybody else as far as guests. So I'm going to go through a few announcements. Everybody, you guys can sit down. Everybody else sat down. But I'm glad you're following instructions. Okay. I haven't done this for a while. I'm out of practice in person. I like to do this when I'm on Zoom. You know, after you do it on Zoom for a year. Polio cans, don't forget next meeting, which will be the 5th of November, to bring your cans for Barbara. So we can do that. I saw an email yesterday. Bob's volunteered to drink beers, a case of beer or so he can bring cans, you know. But he's also got the road cleanup. So that way he'll be good and lubricated so he can bend over and pick up other cans. You'll be all, you know, hydrated there. So road cleanup Saturday, tomorrow, meet at the 7-Eleven at 8 a.m., not the 8-Eleven at 7. The 7-Eleven at Skyline and Swan at 8 a.m., okay? Now, we also have to do a real good job on the road now for those people who live up in the area. I'm told that Skyline is on the list to get remilled and paved in the next few months, all the way across. So that'll be a little bit nicer and smoother. So then afterwards, we've got a little bit of a reservation at Finney's Landing. They open up for breakfast and at 9 o'clock, so we should be able to pick up trash, and they go down there and have a little bit of social time for that. So Bob's coordinated that, and I think we have quite a few volunteers, but we can always use, the more the better. And I think the snakes are, we'll just have to be careful. Okay. They're all gone, yeah. They're hours. Well, they're up in that high elevation, so you never know. Dunbar Pavilion, I got this on the list. Mr. Delaney, Bob Delaney for stuff with, no, he's got, are you with the Dunbar at this time, or is it for executive director help or whatever? Or?
If I can just mention two things. One, at the Dunbar Pavilion, anybody who might be willing to volunteer for half a day, they do need coverage there. Their executive director relocated back to Ohio. And so if you'd like to help the organization out, let me know, including you folks on Zoom. The other thing I wanted to mention was that the Boys and Girls Club of Tucson are going to have the live Thanksgiving dinner program this year. And we have the opportunity to serve at one or two clubs. And it starts on Friday, the 19th of November at the club on South Columbus. And then there's an opportunity at the club where the Creative Arts Center is on Grant the Monday. So if you would, I'd like to get some idea if we are interested in participating, because we can get one or two of those locations. So just tentatively, if I could get a show of hands of anybody who might be willing to volunteer. So there's 7 here, and I don't know if I see anybody on, oh, there are a couple people on Zoom. So I think we can probably do 2 locations. So thank you very much.
So I say, think about it. If you haven't done it, it's fun. It's a fun time. And now that we can actually do it more in person versus here's a box or here's, type of a thing. So that's it for the list of announcements that I have. So I'm going to ask Mr. Matt to come up and introduce our speakers for today. I think it's kind of be interesting to see what's going on, and we'll learn some things.
But before I do, I'm going to have an announcement, if that's okay. As I think most of you know, the district conference is coming up next weekend. Our club is entitled to 2 voting electors at the conference. We have not appointed them yet, so the floor is open for volunteers. I have 1 volunteer in past District Governor Reed back there. So is anybody else who's going to attend the district conference interested in being a voting elector? I see a hand. All in favor? All in favor of Frank? And all right, very good. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Kirk. Yes, so our program today is something that I'm extremely interested in. I've got a couple college buddies that I've stayed in touch with for 50 plus years. They're 73, just like me. At times that are maybe not real flattering, we refer to each other as geezers. And I'm not sure when the age starts and ends at that, but I feel, oh, Norm feels it too. I can tell, yeah. Last month, as many of you know, my mother-in-law died at the age of 93. A couple years ago, my mother died at the age of 93. My dad zipped right through 93 safely, but at 94 had a real bad car accident and celebrated his birthday, 95th birthday, a couple months ago on the heel from that accident. So those 20 years from 73 to 93-ish, those 2 decades can be real tough for people, whether you're a caregiver or a care receiver at that age. And then in the blink of an eye, somebody like me, a geezer at 73, can turn from being a caregiver to a care receiver. And then I'm looking at my 43-year-old daughter to step in and be a caregiver, not just for her teenage kids, but for her geezer father. Well, thankfully, Tucson has a senior support alliance to help people like me, my geezer buddies, our parents, and our 40-something children, and all ages, all ages in between. When I saw the Senior Support Alliance website and materials that they have describing their mission and organization, they had a list of 13 different service areas that they focus on. And I checked every single one of those as having been something that I had needed help with in the last 2 years. And so if you're in this age range, or you know people that are, please welcome the information that you're about to hear and share it. You've received a lot of materials and handouts. I commend them to you, and I commend to you 3 representatives of the Senior Support Alliance that will represent 3 of those service areas that they deal with. First, the co-founder of Senior Support Alliance is Rose Muzzy. She is the leader of the Adult Assisted Living and Referral and Placement area, and has a service by the same name. Her organization helps place seniors in the best possible living care at group centers or in private adult care homes when they can no longer stay at their own home. Rose is also the Arizona Regional Director of the Twilight Wish Foundation, the first national nonprofit wish granting organization dedicated to the elderly. And like Rotary, their Team Twilight rides in El Tour de Tucson to raise funds to send veterans to honor flight and continue granting other wishes for deserving seniors here in Arizona. We also have Monica Smith for the in-home caregiving area. She's a certified nursing assistant with Visiting Angels Living Assistance Services. We have Andrea oh, my daughter's Andrea, so it just naturally comes that way. I guess it's Andrea Chambers in the independent living, assisted living, and memory care, skilled nursing area. And she is the business development director or coordinator. Oh, who's the sergeant? Who's the sergeant today? One of you guys did that to me. Yeah. So Andrea is the business development coordinator for Brookdale Senior Living Communities, and there's 5 of those I'm sure you've seen around the community. So we'll hear from Rose, Andrea, and Monica. Who goes first? Come on up, Monica. Please welcome you.
Just a small correction. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Hi, everybody. So thank you very much for that excellent, beautiful, and very heartwarming introduction. That was probably the best introduction I think we've ever had. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you very much. So I'm Monica Smith, and I had to make a little quick correction. I'm not sure who provided the information to you about what I do with Visiting Angels, but I'm not a certified nursing assistant. Well, I'm not worthy for that at all. But I do handle community relations, business development, and marketing for Visiting Angels. Visiting Angels is a member of Senior Support Alliance, and I'll tell you a little bit more about Visiting Angels in a minute. So on your tables, we've provided you with some copies of our Senior Support Alliance two-sided handout that tells you a little bit about what we do. And yes, Rose is a co-founder of Senior Support Alliance. It's about 7 years old, Rose? 7 years old, possibly. And together with a very well-established realtor here in town, who's part of Realty Executives. His name is Jay Broski. He and Rose co-founded Senior Support Alliance. So this alliance is so much more than a business group or a networking group or a marketing group. Certainly we refer business to each other. However, the most important thing that we do is that we work together to be a trusted resource for our seniors in this community. So for instance, if any one of our clients might need a service that none of the members provide, certainly we're bound to know someone within our respective circles of influence who can provide that service for them, because we all collectively know a lot of people. So our membership is a non-compete. So Visiting Angels is the only non-medical home care company. Brookdale Communities, Senior Living Communities is our only senior living community in the membership. Rose does assisted living placement. So she's the only assisted living placement specialist. So it's a nice thing to offer our members, but it's much broader than that in terms of being able to be that trusted resource for seniors. Then you also have on your table some little business cards for Senior Support Alliance. And it's a nice handy little thing to carry in your wallet, because on the back side, it lists all of the services that we can offer within the group. And then the other thing you're going to see on the table is our respective marketing materials. But last but not least, you'll see the Tucson Senior Scene, which is the Senior Support Alliance newsletter, and we publish it quarterly. So up in the upper right corner, you'll see which quarter this is. This is our newest issue, hot off the press for Q4, and it's version 1. So it's the very first version for this quarter. And we try to make sure it has informational and educational articles on the inside. And then we can also feature and highlight one of our members, who this time happens to be Bill Counts, who is an independent Medicare agent and also sells long-term care insurance. So anyway, this is a great resource for all of our seniors. We place these newsletters in doctors' offices, rehabs, skilled nursing facilities, physical therapists' offices. Everybody in the community has been very receptive about allowing us to place our newsletter holders, and we refresh these newsletters on an as-needed basis. So about Visiting Angels. Visiting Angels is a locally owned and operated company, woman-owned as well, but we're part of a national franchise with over 800 offices throughout the U.S. We're part of a nationwide franchise with a great reputation. And locally, my boss opened her doors in 2008. We're located on La Cholla across from Foothills Mall. And we're in the La Cholla Business Center. So we still have a picture up in the lobby of her ribbon cutting when Marana Chamber did the ribbon cutting for her in 2008. And we've been in business ever since. I've been with Visiting Angels for the last 4.5 years, almost 5 years in February. And our caregivers are employees of our company, and we send them out throughout the greater Tucson area, including Sierra Vista, to care for people in their home, help them maintain as much independence as possible, and to keep them safe and help them to age in place in the comfort of their own home as long as they can. And when the time is right, then if we have an opportunity, we can, when they're ready to move out of home and for whatever reason they prefer or must go to a senior living community setting, we're always happy to refer to Brookdale right over here. And if they need additional help trying to find the right place for them to settle in a senior community, we'll be happy to refer them to Rose, because she's the senior placement specialist. If they need someone to help them sell their house, we're going to call Jay, our co-founder, and let him know, because all of the services that are a part of this alliance specialize in senior services. So that's a little bit about what we do as a group as under the alliance, and then a little bit about what I do with Visiting Angels. So I'd like to turn it over now at this time to our co-founder, Rose Muzzy. Thank you very much for your time and your invitation and your attention. Enjoy your afternoon.
I should have wore higher heels. Okay, thanks, Monica. You did a really great job. And our introduction was great, as you said. It's nice to be here. I haven't been in the hotel in I don't know how long. We used to have a meeting here every month with health and wellness. Monica did a really good job explaining what the Senior Support Alliance is about. Early on in my career, I was approached by a few people that wanted my opinion about who to refer different services, who I used or who I would suggest. And from that, having coffee and talking about different issues that people had, that's kind of how we came up with this concept. And one of them was a lawyer, a lawyers group. And, he's still involved with us too. A lot of the people that are involved with Senior Support Alliance don't all go to our meetings, but they are still part of the group and support us. As far as my business, I've been very fortunate through the years. I've worked for medical centers many years. My background was in ophthalmology. I was an ophthalmic tech. I had no inkling to start a nonprofit. I had no knowledge about adult assisted living business. But because of me being involved with a lot of the doctors at the hospital and being involved with hospice, I always got asked for help. And so I was led into this business, and it took off, and I embraced it, and I ended up doing it full time. Even though I hated to leave the hospital, I had a very good position at TMC. But this has been very rewarding, and I get to help people in a very, very sensitive time in their life, not only for the patient, but for their families. So my role is to try to make what I do look very easy. So a lot of times people just can't thank me for my help, and they have no idea how much footwork goes into it. And not only does it go into it to get a person helped in place, discharged, or because they've been diagnosed with incurable disease and they go on hospice, I also offer my services for free to help people even after they're placed. So I am not invisible after I do the placement. So people have enjoyed that through the years. And because I was so grateful, I was introduced to the Twilight Wish Foundation, and never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be running a nonprofit either. But we were very successful. We're one of the most successful chapters in the US. And all the facilities were able to come aboard and help us out with donations and fundraisers and things like that through the years. So we've been able to grant wishes to a lot of low-income seniors. And we've had a lot of fun wishes. We've had traveling wishes. We've had people meeting loved ones. We just have had so many fun wishes. Somebody wanted to see snow. That was our first wish. And I went, oh my God, my first wish is to grant somebody snow in Arizona. And I said, So with a lot of help and a lot of luck, I found this place that makes artificial snow. And they said they would do it for free. I was like, whoa, okay. So we went up to Chandler, and it was at a assisted living, and we had like 200 people there, and we pulled off snow and fun in the snow and played and had food, and we had a band. And I mean, I could go on and on about some of the fun wishes, but that's been something that I've been very proud of, is that the wishes that we've granted have made such a difference in people's lives. I still get cards and thank you from some of the wish recipients, and they keep saying, do you remember me? Do you remember my wish? And I'd say, yes, I do. And it just touches my heart. So anyways, it's been a great journey for me. And being part of the SSA group, I'm very proud of, and I'm very happy to share with you one of the things that came out of this group. And one of them is it's the Vital Information and Records book. Can you all see this? Can you see this online? Okay. Right here. Okay. And this book came out of, years of what does family need and caregivers. And so we got together, a few of us, and we came up with this book with all kinds of information that a family could start filling out. And if you had caregivers in your house, as an example, it has information about emergency contacts, family members. We even have a place for your little pet. So we have all kinds of information here that could be put into this book. We add to it. We just added one section. Somebody, what was it? It was funeral arrangements. We added that. That was one of the last ones. And we also have an extra page, extra section in here. But out of this group came this, and everybody that sees it can really understand that this is a great book. It's a great handout. And we don't really make any money on it. We charge $20 for it because we don't have a real good source for printing. So it costs us money for the printer, the binder, and everything. So what we do is we hand out raffle tickets every time we do a presentation. So someone's going to win it today. So, and if you can't use it or you don't think you could use it, I'm sure you know somebody who could use it. So anyways, this is one of the books, and we'll do a raffle, I guess. I don't know when you do your raffles, but we could do the raffle at the end maybe. So if everybody got a raffle ticket, and I believe we included everyone on Zoom. So I think we've included all their names too. Okay. Thank you for helping me with that one. So anyways, so from here, I think that's all I have to say. Did I forget anything? I have somebody that'll put it at my table. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. And so I'm going to now introduce Andrea, who came aboard this year, and we're very happy to have her aboard, and be kind to her. This is her first time doing Rotary. So.
Yeah, I appreciate you all having us today. Anyone who serves dessert before lunch is my kind of people, so I'm happy to be here. But like Rose said, my name is Andrea. I am with Brookdale Senior Living. We have 5 communities here in Tucson. We are the oldest senior living group in the country with over 40 years of experience. We have over 700 communities. With that comes a lot of resources, a lot of experience, a lot of research, a lot of training, and we get those locally. So I'm really proud of Brookdale. We have assisted living, we have memory care, we have independent living, we have skilled nursing, but there is going to be a point where maybe we aren't the best fit for you. And that's really important to us. We're never going to, wherever you are in your journey, our goal is to meet you there. And that's why this group has been so awesome. And I'm so grateful to be a part of it. Rose actually invited me. I met her. I've been with Brookdale for almost a year now, and our paths crossed and we were working together. And why this has been so beneficial is because, like I said, there's times where we will not be the best fit. So now I have a group of trusted people where, hey, this isn't right for us. What can you help us with? Maybe they're not ready to move into a senior community yet, but they are ready for in-home care. Maybe wherever they are, we're ready to meet them. And this group of people, they're responsive, and it's not just because it's a non-compete, you're invited in because you go above and beyond. Your heart is in the right place. It's not just a job. You really care for the person. That's all of our goals. So if one of us inside the group cannot help, we know somebody who can. So the last thing we want any of you ever saying is, oh, I had to spend so much time looking for X, whatever that service is. Come to us and we are happy to direct you. Whatever you need, we're here for you. So yeah, thank you again. And we're grateful for being here. And we're grateful for your time.
We've We've got a few minutes for questions from here or online before we pull the raffle. So Norm. Oh, you need to have the microphone or I'll get in trouble.
So a question I have, and this is because I've gone through this just recently with my own father, who's 98, is that when you say to people that are having those life events as seniors, such as you can no longer drive, you need assistance in the home, you need to go to assisted living. I have not found any literature or anything that helps with those conversations as to how you do that in order to make that transition as painless as possible. I just got off the phone. One of the reasons I was late today is my daughter called about her grandmother on the mother's side, and they're transitioning, and this lady is having a terrible time with the transition to assisted living. So I think that these are things, the practical side of being a caregiver, being, you know, in your 60s and in my case 70s, and transitioning your father to assisted living and where he is now. But when we said about even having come into the house, no strangers coming in my house. I need to take your keys, Dad. You're not seeing so well. Your reaction time is terrible. That was left to me as being the son. Yeah. So all those things. So do you have resources?
Thank you. Thank you, Norm. Those are great questions. So common. You're not alone. If you go to the Visiting Angels website, visitingangels.com/Tucson, and they can go to the Visiting Angels website in their town, wherever they live. There are articles online at that Visiting Angels website that address those very topics. But just know that with regard to taking away the keys, it might be better if they heard it from the doctor. You can third party that message through a doctor so that you don't have to be the bad cop. And the doctor, then you can, say, Dad, the doctor said, and that's it. It's coming from a higher authority, so to speak, in the medical perspective. With regard to adjusting to a senior community setting, because it's so hard for us to leave home. This is a place where we raised our children, had our Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas dinners, and celebrated birthdays. And it's the hardest thing. I can't even imagine how hard it would be to do. But I know what it's like for our clients. I haven't gone through it personally yet. But I would hope that if I did, I would have someone who could maybe hire me a caregiver from somebody like us, somebody like Visiting Angels, or whoever it happens to be who does non-medical care, they could hire that agency to provide a caregiver to help that person with the transition from moving out of their home into that new community. So that's going to be a caregiver who will provide companion care for that person as they move into the new setting and adjust to their new surroundings. Because as beautiful as the place may be, and Brookdale is really beautiful, as beautiful as any place may be, it's not home. So having a caregiver that they can hire who can be that companion, that one steady person who will be with them for however many hours per week, to be that constant companion, and that person will look forward to having that caregiver arrive and spend that time with them. That might be a solution. That there's probably a lot of other ways to handle it, but I know personally that has worked very effectively for a lot of our clients when they're ready to transition from care at home with our services. Then that caregiver that they've known and trusted all this time while they were on service with us will help them to transition to that new setting. I hope that answered a couple of your questions. Okay, it's my pleasure. Yes.
We'll get in trouble again.
This is going to be a little.
I have a question. It seems that you say affordable, but I've come across so many people that cannot afford that kind of situation, having someone come into the home. And the other thing I wanted to say, I learned that if your father, for instance, ends up in the hospital, don't take him home. Take him right to the facility. and then he doesn't have a chance.
Right. Thank you. Oh,
That-
sorry.
this is it.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
one.
Great, thank you. So good questions. So unfortunately, our services are non-medical and they're not covered by health insurance, Arizona health insurance or Arizona Medicare. However, if someone has a private long-term care insurance policy that they purchased for the specific reason of being able to cover non-medical home care expenses later in life, then more than likely it would cover our services. We have a lot of clients who were able to afford our services because they had that foresight when they were younger. They purchased an independent private long-term care insurance policy. They paid a monthly premium over the years. And when it was time for them to, and then they had that policy written with the express provision of covering non-medical in-home care. And then when it's time for them to use it, they can activate that benefit. And if you don't have it, it's out of pocket expense. And our rate is very competitive in the market. The rate is $29 per hour for a visit of at least 4 hours or more per visit. Well, we do have we customize the care, we customize the schedule according to what our clients need. So if we want to make sure that you're getting the care that you need, but on the schedule that you need it, so where it's affordable for you. Then we have resources. We've developed, that's a great question. She just asked where, if they can't afford services, where do they go and get this care? We have a local organization you're probably very familiar with, PCOA, the Pima Council on Aging. And there are other organizations here in town that might be able to afford care at a reduced rate. Or there are nonprofits who can provide companionship and transportation and bring in meals at no cost. Places like Lutheran Social Services, Catholic Family Services, Interfaith Community Services. You've probably heard of all of these wonderful places that can provide someone to come in and do a little wellness check and have a visit with your loved one for a couple of hours, or bring them a meal, or take them to a doctor's appointment if they can't afford to hire one of our caregivers.
Okay, since I have the microphone, I'm just going to keep on talking.
Okay,
No.
and then I'm going to turn this over. To Andrea, so she can address another aspect.
Yeah, and there's programs out there that a lot of people aren't even aware of. There's something called Altex, Arizona Long-Term Care Services. I don't know if you're familiar with those. That is an option. There's veteran programs, there's veteran services. I recently learned a statistic that only 10% of veterans are using their benefits, and that can be their spouses too. So there are services out there. So always explore your options. Never just assume it's too expensive. There's always going to be someone or something to help. And again, we're happy if you guys have questions. I am worried, how am I going to afford this? We can point you in that right direction.
Other questions? We got a couple more minutes. Kirk.
Yes, when my mother turned 100 a couple of months ago, she was doing great. All of a sudden, she reached her milestone and is sinking fast. So she lives in Columbus, Georgia. I called what I think is the equivalent of what's the name of this? What's the name of your senior support in Columbus, Georgia? They said, well, we have a 3 to 6 month waiting list to get any help. And it's like, forget it. So I don't know what to do.
So we never, ever want you to fall into this situation. And you're right. There are going to be some people out there who are like, we're not staffed appropriately. We're full, whatever the situation is. So we're facing a situation where we're fortunate. Of our 5 communities, 3 of them are full. So we had somebody the other day who needs memory care sooner rather than later, and we're not just going to be the type of person to just be like, sorry, we don't know what to do. So we're either going to say, well, our Santa Catalina community, they do have a few openings right now. We can lock you in at this rate, kind of park you there until something opens up, but just so you're taken care of, you have care. If we cannot help you, again, there's someone in our group who is going to be able to. So we're never just going to say, nope, sorry, nothing we can do. The goal, we know this is hard on you guys, whether you're the caregiver or the care receiver, you need help. It's hard enough. So the last thing we ever want is you worried, what is my next step? Our job is to take that worry off of you. So someone to say, 3-6 months, I personally think you should have been given options. And if that person couldn't help you, I think we know other communities who would be a good fit. Or Rose, this is her industry. She knows everyone in town. I know Brookdale. Rose knows all the communities. So if we're not the best fit, Rose can find you somebody who would be the best fit and who can take you in the time that you need. So yeah, we're never going to brush you off and say 3-6 months, because that's not life. I don't live in Georgia.
It's
don't.
Georgia. So.
Yeah, but I do say don't accept that as an answer. Push back.
Well, we'll do one more. Irv, we'll kind of wrap questions.
Quick question.
Hang on a second, Irv.
because
We gotta bring you up
Hold on, Irv.
on here. Go ahead, Irv.
Due to COVID, you're having a lot of trouble getting staff. Did that question come through?
Yes.
Thank you for the question. I guess that question is probably for Monica with Visiting Angels. And yes, of course, everyone is looking for qualified direct care workers right now. And that's in every industry within the health and wellness industry. So you're absolutely right. At Visiting Angels here in Tucson, we happen to have a very talented and capable recruitment and retention coordinator on staff with us in our Tucson office. And she has been working diligently to find talented, qualified caregivers who have a heart for caregiving. So anyone can teach the skill, but we can't teach heart. So in addition to the skilled caregivers that we require, we're also looking for those caregivers who have that heart in addition to their skill. It's been a challenge, but we're getting there. Before COVID, we had about 140 caregivers on staff with us. That's a lot of jobs that we create here in the community. Then we're proud to be able to do that. Now, since COVID, we're hovering right around 100 caregivers. We're hoping to get back where we were before, but you're right. It's been a challenge, but we're working every day to look for the best caregivers who have that heart for caregiving, because those are the caregivers we want to hire. Those are the caregivers we want to send into our clients' homes. We know what we do is a sacred trust, and we want to make sure that we live up to that.
Thank you. I'm going to ask them to stick around for questions afterwards, if you guys wouldn't mind for a little bit, so we can keep with the meeting. A couple things also in Rotary. I don't know if, since this is your first Rotary, one thing just as an FYI, our big push is to eradicate polio around the world. And so in honor of your folks is just coming here today in discussion, we will donate funds so 10 more little ones more than likely can be inoculated against polio. So thank you for that. Appreciate that. So moving on to the next piece, I found the words. Barbara, you got something about school, kids, kidlets? We're going to call, this is Steve, the enforcer.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only that, I don't have to push any buttons, so the remote is out of this question. Yes, I wanted to thank all of you for your very, very generous contributions last week and on the phone and in your email to the Tepewa thing. I want you to know that together we have raised scholarships for 53 children and 25 water containers. That is actually 8 short, believe it or not, of what we did last year, but it isn't an amazing thing. But I want to tell you a very special thing that happened after our meeting last week. Dick came up to me and said, but Barbara, are there any kids who are not getting scholarships? And I contacted Mooney. And for any of you who went down to Mexico with me, perhaps you remember Mooney. And Mooney said, let me count. And she came up with a number of children who were not being served by either Catalina or others. And Dick said he would cover them. So we are going to send these kids back to school,
Yeah, they're-
every one of them. And thank you,
Went
thank
away?
you. It was just,
Oh, you
she
were
was
just
in
like that.
tears to know that this year, a year when
Do you have
parents
any-
are so stressed, just coming back into something like normal. And thank you all. Thank you, Dick. Thank you.
Good things. We're supposed to have on the list Queen of Hearts with Pablo. Pablo, you want to? We do have, we have a mystery queen of hearts. Of hearts. Couldn't resist. Hey,
So we're a little bit in catch-up mode because we had a winner last week, but
to get back here to draw.
As long as you're here. Okay, we'll let somebody draw for Anita.
No.
And the pot rolls over to next week.
And well, and since Tony was doing the draws and we forgot the draw for the card, why don't we go ahead and have Tony draw out of the raffle ticket? How about that segue? Where's the? I think it's. Where are those? Who's got the raffle? Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say we could
Okay.
have Tony.
Rose has them.
He's got his draw ready.
This is going to involve reading glasses. Hang on. I'm going to pull. Not looking, because I'm in this. And the winning ticket is, it's not mine, 354217. Oh, I have, and that winner is in Zoom land, and it would be Maria Elena McElroy.
Oh, congratulations.
There she is.
There she's. Yeah, well, we'll make sure she gets it. Thank you. Now, since Pablo wasn't here, but the sergeant is here today, and Mr. Troughton, who's been taking good, copious notes about everything, is the sergeant.
Thank you, everybody. Hey, you want to be a cam man for me? Yeah, you can do, we're doing everything. You can do everything. Well, it's good to see everybody. Good to see Pete in person, like Paul said, and good to see Norm in person. And how's everyone doing out there? Good? Good. Any happy bucks out there today? Everyone's, ooh, we got several out here. We got some good ones.
Yeah, I gotta remember that. Yeah.
Barbara's first.
Well, I want to go a half a leg up because this next weekend is our district conference. And I want to tell you that I'm sitting next to a lady in yellow who's going to man our table, woman our table in the House of Friendship and collect all the cans that people are going to take there. So she is going to move Let's Can Polio
2 days further.
Okay, good job.
Thank you.
Thank
you that we're going to get those
Oh,
cans.
Pete, we got Pete,
Pete,
Norm.
I'm glad you're back, Pete. We're glad to see you.
Thanks, Paul. Just a short testimonial. I used assisted living care and through a placement service and found a small group assisted living home for my wife, Linda. And she was there for 2 years. I took care of her as long as I could at home. And then I just wasn't getting any sleep. But I'm eternally grateful to the caregivers. And they became part of our family. And it's not over yet. Since I've been back, one of the top things on my list is to go by and give them a hug. I'm just wonderful experience.
All right, Pete, thanks. Hey, Paul, while you're there, Matt has something for you too.
Oh, he does.
From his
Oh,
phone ringing earlier.
Oh, look at that. Oh,
Thank you.
Oh,
I didn't forget.
Truly a can man, yes.
I didn't forget.
I saw this man's beautiful wife this morning out on a walk, so glad to see he made it.
There you go. So yeah, I haven't been here much, but I'm glad to be here today. Thanks, Bob, for keeping my stuff that I left the last time I was here. Are the Red Sox still playing?
They are.
Well, so
Sort of.
I'm glad I put the money in because I'd like to see them win the World Series this year.
Yep. Any other happy bucks here? Oh, Tony.
I prefer to call them shameless self-promotion bucks.
No.
The Holy Cats Swing Club Trio was at Pastiche last night. I have a happy buck for Barbara and Tom Kiernan, who showed up to offer their support. And Sunday night, we're going to be with the full quintet, including drums and vocalist. We're going to be at St. Philip's Plaza from 7 to 10. Reservations are suggested, but there's going to be a swing dance club from the U of A who are bringing a parquet dance floor, and it should be a really fun, good time. So I hope you can all join us.
Okay. Okay. How about everybody out in the Zoom world out there? Any happy bucks? Oh, you're off the Richard's off the phone.
Yeah.
How you doing?
He moved inside.
He's inside now. And Irv's cold. He's got his sweatshirt on.
He must be up north.
Yep. Yep. Any other happy bucks out there? No? No one? Carol? No? Oh, there's Jeff. Oh, how about those Broncos, Jeff?
They stink.
Yeah. Oh, we got Al here.
Al?
I got a buck here for the best Dia de los Muertos shirt I've ever seen. Steve Pender's wearing that shirt right now. That's awesome.
Can
Don't
you, can you come up in
stay
front
out
of
of
the
dark alleys. I'm going to steal that sucker.
go in front of the camera over there. Can you guys? Yep.
Well, I've got something too. I'm going to start. I'm going to start helping on the technology committee because I don't have enough things to do here. But this is the last meeting that I have to go back to work for. I'll be retired at the next time we have a meeting. So that's worth the leg up.
That's worth. I didn't. Oh, we got.
Oh,
yeah.
Check with Tony.
Yeah. Check with Tony. I didn't see any birthdays or anniversary. Oh, yep. We got.
I just wanted to say I have a Brookdale story. As you recall, a longtime Rotarian, Dick Stein, was at Brookdale on Broadway, the Broadway one. We would get together, the grumpy old men, on Tuesdays for lunch, and he liked me picking him up to take him to Sashiko Sushi, where he would go with Gene Crandall, going back years and years. But I got there once and he wasn't ready, and I was told he was with the exercise group. So I went to an open part of one of the wings, and there was a very fun woman, and everybody was kicking a ball in a circle. and a variety of ages and conditions. And she immediately said, Dick is in class, you can join us. So I pulled up a chair and I was one of 20 people kicking the ball around. And I got to tell you, it reminded me of bombardment when I was a kid, the little red ball. It was some of the most vicious activity, but it was a fun thing. So happy
Okay.
Bucks for that.
That's happy, yeah.
Thank you.
I got some happy bucks. I went on vacation for fall break to Southern California, and in case you don't know, Southern California had an oil spill. So our campsite got closed at Crystal Cove. So we thought, oh, let's go farther north, way north of the oil. And then at 7:30 at night the next day, we're being evacuated for a fire. A massive wildfire. So then we were homeless, like a bunch of gypsies, picking up again, going to the next place. But we ended up having a good time and making it down to Irv's old stomping grounds in Coronado, and ended up having a good time. But California is very dry, and man, and as we're driving through downtown Los Angeles, we're underneath an overpass. And I told my wife, you know, there could be an earthquake. She didn't think it was very funny, but those were the only two natural disasters, or not so natural, if oil spill, but just a wildfire and an oil spill, but we made it back. So that's what I'm happy about, and I'm back. So anything else, anybody? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Collected a few shekels there. Just to wrap up then, thank you, Rose, Monica, and Andrea for our talk today. Good information, and stick around if some people may have some questions, because I think we all have. We're at that age where we're having to deal with these issues. Audrey, thank you for the invocation. Are you going to do road cleanup this weekend? I don't know. It depends. Yeah, Yeah, I know, because you've been out there a couple times. So, Mr. Troughton, thank you for Sergeant, and then Steve and Michael with the team. Good to see everybody on Zoom from hither and there, and glad you made it back, Rich. Good seeing you, Irv. Looks like it must be cold up there. Carol, good to see you. And maybe, hey, you gonna make it tomorrow, Jeff, for the road cleanup?
I'm planning on being there.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, it's good. So yeah, it's fun, and it's the quicker we get it done, and the sooner we can get to get a little bit of breakfast. You have what? Never mind. No, I'm a Kansas guy. They thank God for U of A. It's football. They can't win either. We're basketball schools. Rich, did you want to say something?
You talking to me?
Oh, there you go. We're glad you're back.
Yes, sir.
Have you thawed out from Maine?
Buddy?
Have you thawed out from Maine?
Have I what?
Thawed out. Coming back to
It's
the warm
beautiful,
desert.
it's beautiful, mid-60s during the daytime. The leaves are beautiful, so it's great. However, I'm not there right now.
I know you're at home. You're here.
Yeah. I've only been here a few weeks. I'm leaving on Wednesday to go back.
Oh, short timer.
Yeah, my wife needs me back there.
Okay. Well, good to see you.
Nice
So-
to see everybody.
So I think with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the meeting. Appreciate you being patient with me. I really don't know how to do these things live. I'm only good at them doing them Zoom. That's an inside joke for all the visitors. So if we could have the last slide for the wrap up, everybody please, if they'd stand up. He's got to share it, it's. There we go. We can't read. First, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you all for being here.